One of the things that's out there comes from the European Union, where officials have proposed 25% tariffs on American goods, a number of different things in response to the suggestion from the president of these steel and aluminum tariffs. So the Europeans want to come back and tax our items, whether it be blue jeans, Harley-Davidson motorcycles, bourbon, orange juice, on and on. The Federalist staff writer Bree Payton is here, and Republican advisor Lee Speakkerman also is here. The question, though, Lee, is are we seeing a major shift in strategy from a White House, as opposed to just negotiating on one or two trade deals, where you're going to see a move here away from globalism, which seems to become a dirty word, towards, nationalism, as the president would say it, or just protectionist trade policies? We're going to be more protectionist.
Well, I think we are, and I think that's terrific, because President Trump is exactly right on the trade issue. The establishment Republicans like Paul Ryan are dead wrong.
I'll tell us why.
What we're talking about is Americanism here.
We talk about economics. A lot of people say, I talked about globalism being a dirty word. For years, the word protectionist had been you don't want to be called a protectionist. I mean, oh, no, I'm not a protectionist. But you're saying not only is the president that, but it's a good thing. Explain.
Yes, Connell. Well, first of all, as to the European threat, we have a $150 billion trade deficit with the EU. So why don't they do that? Let's see how that works out for them. We overall have an $800 billion goods trade deficit in this country. That translates into 3.5 million jobs that have been sucked out of our country. And you know what? We have too many people in the Republican establishment that are worried about capital flows and dollar flows, and they want to rationalize this. Hey, the numbers don't lie. $800 billion deficit year after year. It's actually expanding. The only country, a major trading partner where it's going down is South Korea. So we've absolutely got to do what I would recommend. The change in strategy to take it a step further than the president has is just a uniform import tariff on all imported goods. I would say 10 to 15%, because that way you're not penalizing any specific countries. That would raise in revenue over the 10-year budget window over $2 trillion. That's enough to make all of the middle-income tax cuts in the Trump tax relief that was just passed permanent, so they don't expire. It's enough to fund a repeal and replace of Obamacare. It's enough to seed an infrastructure bank and to keep us from having trillion-dollar deficits.
You've ratcheted up even another notch or two there from
that's how it ought to be done.
What the president is talking about. So
everything basically is going to get more expensive because of the steel tariff.
No, I understand it. By the way, the market's off the lows if you guys are paying attention. We're only down 78 now. This will have to be the last point, Lee. Go ahead.
Well, I was going to say they often, the establishment and the so-called free traders raise the thing of components costing more money. That's a big part of our trade problem. We need to repatriate the American supply chain, and we need to bring those jobs for the components back here. $800 billion trade deficit, 3.5 million jobs. We need that, and we also need the revenue from a trade tariff to make the middle-income tax cuts permanent.
This is probably, I bet this is what the arguments sound like with Gary Cohn and Peter Navarro standing in front of the president's desk in the Oval Office.
Cohn is wrong on this one. He's dead wrong on this one.
Thank you, Lee. Thank you, Bree. We appreciate it. It's a good discussion. We'll keep having it.